Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, World Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about reliability, which in my opinion is the most important aspect out of every single tank in the game. Take, for example, the FE215B. This vehicle features, I would say, the most reliable gun in the game, at least for a heavy. However, its armor, tracks, fuel tanks, and just about every other module is terrible. And because of that, if you ever expose this vehicle wrong, if you over-angle it, which means you just poke, you're going to get penned. You're going to bleed, you're probably going to get tracked, possibly lit on fire, and die. And these are all things you have to keep in mind when driving your vehicle and how you want to equip them properly. And these are also things you want to keep in mind on how you rate a tank. Reliability really is the most important thing. It's like, pretend in real life, I told you that you had to choose a vehicle that would last you the next 10 years without ever being serviced. If you picked a German vehicle, you're a fool. If you picked a Japanese vehicle, like a Toyota or a Subaru, guess what? You're probably smarter, because those vehicles are guaranteed going to last 8 billion years. And it's the same thing in Blitz. Would you rather play a T110E5 or an FE215B? Well, the FE215, what am I looking at here, bro? Okay, crazy. That's a real player. But back to what we were saying. Would you rather focus on driving a vehicle that has reliability or DPM or mobility? You know? Like, look at a vehicle like the Leopard 1, for example. The Leopard 1 features one of the most dangerous DPM values in the game, but it has the lowest win rate in Tier 10. Now, why? I mean, it doesn't make sense that the Leopard has the lowest win rate in Tier 10, does it? It's got incredible DPM, it has great mobility, it has solid damage per shot for a medium. What's the problem? Well, it's simple. It has no armor. And no armor means no reliability. And that is where your problem arrives. The 215B has incredible levels of DPM. And we can see me using that DPM right here, for example. We're getting shells into the enemy XM66F. We got the 777 right in front of us. We're going to aim it on that 777 lower plate. Nice 505 Hess shell. That's pretty incredible. But notice how large this vehicle is in the armor department. It's huge. And because of the size of this tank, it's very hard to actually hide the weaknesses, which is a problem that you are going to run into. But we're using it properly. We are already up to 3,000 damage this game. We've been able to use that hash really well. Get another shell into the Type 71. I mean, this might be the worst enemy team I've ever seen in my life. I'm not even joking. This enemy team is a joke. Holy bad, bruh. But, yeah, I mean, still stands. I think reliability is really the most important value in the game. In a vehicle like the 215B, it features a ridiculously dangerous gun. But unfortunately, the rest of the vehicle is quite mid. 2 games I have played back-to-back in this vehicle, and the games are pretty good. I mean, this is the 3rd battle I played in the tank, and this one's pretty good as well. 3,932 damage. We did pretty good. But 2 previous games I played in it, right? This game, I died. You know why? Well, if we make our way to the end of the replay here, you're going to see why. I shoot the girl, right? Light the girl on fire. Nice little chunker of damage, 917 with the fire. We're already at 2,800. So I said, you know what? I'm going to shoot the concept. So we're going to fire a standard shell into him. Should have fired hash, it would have killed him, but I fire standard shell into the concept. Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to shoot the 6... Oh, wait, no, I'm not, because the concept lights me on fire. Yep, there you go. That's the enemy. That's the thing about the 215B, as I mentioned. Not only does it have no armor, it has absolutely terrible modules. The tank gets lit on fire a lot. And if you don't believe me, let's take a look at the game I played before that on Falls Creek. Again, pretty good game. I deal a lot of damage. I'm already at 2,000 tier. We scroll up. I deal a lot of damage this game. We're already up to 3,300 at this result. But you'll never guess what happens to me when I get shot from the E100. Even though I have 800 health here, I tell myself, okay, well, I can take a hit from the E100 because I have plenty of health, so I'll take a hit from him. And I don't have my I don't have my repair kit, so guess what? I die from a fire again. That is 2 games in a row that I get lit on fire when I shouldn't have died. That shows the reliability of the 2 and 5B. Not very good. The tank's armor is basically non-existent. And while the gun is incredibly reliable, it doesn't matter when the rest of the tank is incredibly mid and doesn't really work. And that's the problem with the FE2 and 5B. It's a great tank, but those problems really kill it. And if you compare it to a vehicle, let's say like an E5, personally, I think the E5 is better than the FE2 and 5B in just about 90% of the situations you'll be in. Yes, I know that the tryhards or the cringe lords in the comments are going to say, well, actually, the HES shells on the FE2 and 5B allow you to have more effective DPM, and therefore I can beat anybody in front of me. Well, alright, put that to the test. Go drive your FE2 and 5B on a hull-down ridge against a T110E5, and we'll see how many HES shells you're penning. Because unless I'm a moron not knowing how to drive my E5, it's pretty easy to hide my lower plate in this vehicle. What is this? A ridgeline in front of me? Isn't that crazy? Whoa! Look at that. Now my lower plate is hidden. Bippity boppity. Stop the crop. Like, I don't know what else to say. People will like try to make every excuse for why their favorite tank is the best. But at the end of the day, while the 2 and 5B, and while there are tanks that have really, really solid guns and capabilities are great, I can sit here all day with more gun depression than an E5, similar DPM, much better penetration, and basically the same accuracy, and never get penned, connect every shell that I'm shooting, and just chill. You couldn't do this in a 2 and 5B. First of all, your hull would be sticking out like a sore thumb. Not only would your hull be sticking out, but it'd just be much, much harder to get bounces effectively in this situation. It's a fact. I mean, the armor on this vehicle is way more efficient than the 2 and 5B. Nobody can argue that. And the gun on this vehicle is really, really accurate. So we get one shell out. The Contracaro, bro's just having a bit of a brain aneurysm right now. He doesn't really know what to do. We're going to get another shell into that E100 there. We're already up to 2,300 damage this game. The heat on this vehicle is just insane, and it's making it so that we don't miss a single shot. Get a nice shell into the E5. Again, if we were in a 2 and 5B there, we would have easily been penned because of the fact that our hull sticks out 18 miles. Look at that. Easy shell into the E100. We're already at 3K. Think about that. Think about how quickly we just farmed 3,000 damage. Probably about as quick as we farmed it in the 2 and 5B. Now, we just move on up. Oh, well, maybe not. This guy is so mad at me that he would rather shoot me than the tank's killing him. I can't. Alright, well, we're not going to worry about the base cap right now. We are going to try and get some free farms. So, leave the Progetto, get a nice little chunker into the Prog, and then we have the E100 in front of us, and we're going to aim it on him as well. Let's aim it on his lower plate. Ah, well, that's not bad anything from the E5. That's called Droodles getting screwed by RNG. Let's reload again, and we'll just load a heat shell, guarantee the pen, and we'll back up so he doesn't even get any damage. Ah, whatever. I don't really care that much. The E100 is going to get cleared, which means all that's left is the enemy VK-45. The fact that it took our team that long to reset the base cap is honestly pretty worrying, but we are going to win this, and we're going to get a free little juicer into the side of the VK-45 right there. And there you have it, 4,654 damage. I don't need to say anything else. There's no world where a 2 and 5B would have been able to deal that much damage in that situation. And this is how you decide whether a tank is reliable or not. Is you say, okay, you know, the E5, what situation is the E5 not going to do well in? Well, the only situation that is in, flat ground, because the armor is not good on flat. Its side armor is weak, its lower plate is very weak when exposed. Those are your two major weaknesses. And the rear. But every heavy tank's rear is a weakness, obviously. But those are the problems you have to think about. How many maps are you on flat ground? Well, if we create a training room really quickly, and we look at all the maps, right? Well, Rockfield hull down. Desert Sands has hull down spots, even in town. Middleburg has hull down if you're going up, which is where I normally go, so I don't know why you'd ever go town. But even if you do go town, there is a hull down spot far wide. Copperfield doesn't exist. Falls Creek does have hull down positioning, and you're never going to be really just sitting in the flat open. Mines has easily hull down positions. Dead Rails all hull down. Fort Despair has hull down spots, unless you're going heavy side, but even then, you can just sit on the ramps. Himmelsdorf has easily hull down spots using the berms. Black Goldville has easy hull down spots. Oasis is hull down. Ghost Factor, Yukon. Basically, the point being, every map in the game has hull down spots if you're smart enough to use them. Even Dynasty's Pearl, if you're going town or you just go to the stairs. So, in general, I don't think that there's the argument that, oh, I can't drive my hull down tank hull down on every map. There's a reason why skilled players are able to use their vehicles properly and why unskilled players aren't. And the difference is because skilled players learn the positions and people that aren't skilled don't. So, the point being, reliability is the most important value in the game. And you can make an argument any day of the week of why the Leopard 1, for example, is better than an AMX 30B. Or why the, I don't know, why the M48 Patton is worse than the STB. But in my opinion, reliability trumps all. And I would drive a 30B any day of the week over a Leopard because of the fact the 30B has turret armor. And getting those bounces and having that flexibility to be able to poke and get hull down, sure, might sacrifice a little bit of DPM, but it's definitely worth it. Nobody's going to sit here and tell me that a 2 and 5B is better than an E5. Even though the 2 and 5B features a better gun, the 2 and 5B features, that's it really, it's just a better gun. But yet, for some reason, people will say that argument for the Leopard 1. The Leopard 1 versus something like the 30B, for example, the only advantage the Leopard has over the 30B is a slightly better gun. So when you look at the 2 and 5B versus the E5, and the only advantage the 2 and 5B has is a slightly better gun, yet I don't think anybody would disagree with the take that the E5's better. Yet when you say the 30B is a worse, or the Leopard 1 is a worse 30B, everybody goes up in arms. And it's a great example of how you slightly twist the dial and people instantly start losing the idea of reality. The Leopard is not a reliable tank. It can be an amazing vehicle. I do very well in it. I've got 28 games with 86%, 3,700 average damage. But I'm also one of the top players in the server. Can you do that? Reliably? No. And what if I had a bad stream of battles where my teams fell apart? That's what you have to keep in mind. I had very lucky games. In fact, you can see those battles in my video with on a Nev. So, personally, as I said, I stick to my guns. I think reliability is the most important thing ever. It's why the WZ-113 GFT is the #1 performing tank in the game right now. And it's why the 183 is the worst performing tank. It's why the Grill is the worst performing tank. If you want to win games, you drive tanks that have mobility, that have solid DPM, that have decent armor, and overall don't really have situations they fall apart. And if you're looking for tanks like that, the IS-7, the T-110E5, Super Conqueror, anything like that, Type 71, those are the vehicles you're going to be looking for. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!